Hello and welcome to Valkenswaard for the Grand Prix of the Netherlands. The third round of the FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship. As you can see, temperatures a little bit warmer than they were for the women and for MX3. It's a massive 3 degrees outside. And I can't remember in a long time whether we ever had a GP as cold as this. So it's -4 in the night, the ground a little bit frozen, but with the action that we've had on track so far, it is starting to break down and starting to soften up a little bit, but it's not wet like it was last year. Well, after the Flyweight Grand Prix in Qatar and Thailand, the FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship returns to Europe for the start of the European phase of this year's series. This Valkenswaard circuit, first stage of Grand Prix back in 1974 in the 250cc category. Sylvain Gabor, the overall winner that day on his factory Suzuki. This track wraps itself around the infamous Euro circuit, the rallycross circuit. And it still remains one of the most popular fixtures, does Valkenswaard, on the FIM motocross calendar. But in MX2, Jeffrey Hurlings has made this place his own over the past 3 years. Won 6 out of 6 motos, 3 consecutive Grand Prix victories. He's looking for his 4th straight victory and looking to make it 8 wins out of 8. And he is the man to beat in 2013. So far undefeated in the 4 races that we've had in the flyaways at Qatar and Thailand. So Jeffrey Hurlings will be looking to impress, not disappoint his home fans here around this 1,550-metre long circuit. If you've been watching Valkenswaard for the last few years, you'll think today we're going around in the opposite direction. But back in '74, this was the original way round. And yeah, first turn not going all the way to the original first turn. You can just see it's a little bit shorter there. But there's the skybox. The riders normally wait in the waiting zone there, and then drop out and make their way out for their sighting lap. But all of that's been done, but we'll grab a quick word with 1 or 2 riders in just a moment, I hope. Here's Amy.
Good morning, we're back down on the start line for the MX2 race. First race of the day. You might be able to see behind me the new look waiting zone, which looks absolutely fantastic. I'm joined by Dean Ferris. Dean, you're not riding this weekend. What happened?
No, well, I actually rode yesterday and I tried to give it a go. I got injured a couple of weeks ago. I broke my collarbone, had surgery, a plate, I broke my rib, and I still tried to ride yesterday and thought I could be fast enough to get points, but yesterday I was battling for like 30th in qualifying, and I actually pulled out because it's not worth it for me, and I'd rather just focus on getting healthy for the next round and getting on with the World Championship there.
Well, thank you very much. Before we see the MX2 race, we're going to take a look behind the scenes of the HM plant KTM UK.
2013, we've got Elliot Banks-Brown and James Dunn in MX2, and we've got the 2 Watson brothers, Nathan and Ben, in European 250 rounds, and also Natalie Kane once again in the Women's World Championship. We decided to concentrate on young riders from the UK, as we felt that's the best way to provide backup for our sponsors and for KTM UK in general, and bring the young talent through to World Championship level.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this weekend, definitely. We've done a lot of testing since we come back from Thailand. We had a few little issues, you know, sorted suspension out, been testing this week and got everything dialed. Made a few minor changes to a bike, bar position, just little bits and pieces, you know, just to make myself more comfortable on the bike, and I think we've definitely improved it from the first 2 races massively. No, I want to be in top 5, like in races, like most races. I think I can do that. You know, I've just got to get a good start this weekend, get a good start for the rest of the year, and that makes life a lot easier. You know, the top 10 in GPs is so fast, like anyone could get on a podium now. Jeffrey is riding really good and he's like a step above everyone else, but I think anyone's in with a shout to get on a podium. Any of the top 10 riders could get on a podium, so if they're having a good day, and if I'm having a good day, I think I should be fighting for a podium position. It's what I want to be doing. After doing the 1 to 5 Europeans last year, I planned to do the 250 Europeans this year, but due to this opportunity being available to do MX2 from Roger, and he said I could do it if I wanted, and I thought take the opportunity while it's there and just see really, because you got to do these sort of things and see how it goes. I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself to get anything in this first year, and just take every weekend as it comes and score points in as many races as I can. Really, that's the main thing, is just to get in that top 20 and get some points. Just trying to finish the races and just sort of building it again for next year, really.
There's a lot of girls who want to win, and the first round is this weekend, and there's a lot more girls here than actually do the full round. Like Olivia Lancelot, Steffi Lyle, didn't do all the rounds, but yeah, when they're there, I think I can be just as fast and just win as many races as everybody else. But we're all so close, and it comes with luck and everything. But yeah, the goal would be to win, but just to have a steady year and no injuries and keep going. It's always been the goal that I wanted to do, was to ride in a men's world championship. I wanted to ride. It's going to be very hard, and maybe even go to try the men's AMA or something to be the first girl maybe to qualify. Just have to see.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's a one-off for me. I'm racing the AMX 250 series this year, so yeah, I had the opportunity to ride this MX1 this weekend, so yeah, I thought may as well do it, and yeah, I'm really excited. It's going to be a really good learning curve. Obviously, they're the best riders in the world, so getting up racing with them, it should be really good for me, a good experience, and yeah, just do best I can, and that's all I can do, really.
Riders making their way out over the bridge. That's how the riders enter the circuit now. Glenn Coldenhoff was the surprise winner in the MX2 qualifying race yesterday. You might be asking yourself where Jeffrey Hurlings ended up. Well, he didn't make a good start. He was 16th through the first couple of corners. He ended up getting to 12th at the end of the first lap, got into 6th by lap 3. Then he had a massive crash down the back straight. He missed his braking point, the back end was in the air, and he was tramming along at some kind of speed as well. Straight into the fence, got trapped under the bike. And as the gap opened up in the fence, there were 3 or 4 guys caught on camera that, well, that deemed outside assistance. The officials looked on it, and Jeffrey Hurlings should start from the very, very outside of the gate, because unclassified there, 40. So he should be over right on the right-hand side, unless he was able to somehow... No, there he is, still waiting to go to the line. Now you would expect, well, look, Giacomo Del Segato, who 2.62, he qualified in 33rd. He's already given up a potential space for Jeffrey Hurlings, but there's a space there just in front of the monster banner. So it'd be interesting to see if he even gets to line up there. So he might get lucky, Jeffrey Hurlings. So disqualified, outside assistance for the defending champion. So, I mean, you might look at it and say, well, he's already going to be at a disadvantage being all the way over there, but the way that he's ridden around this place in the last 2 Grand Prix, or 3 Grand Prix, obviously consecutively. Where is Hurlings? Where did he line up? 15-second board goes up. A little bit windy out there on track, it looks. So Monster Energy board's being blown around all over the place. Dave Nichol, our race director, about to get this one under starter's orders, looking for the red plate, and Hurlings couldn't quite see where he was on the grid. Maybe we'll see from the back of the shot here. But red plate, Hurlings, yeah, from about 5 or 6 gates down. He's about 15th going through turn 1. So got a good jump as we came through on board, I think, with Boutron maybe, as he drops over the hill. But it's Tixier, I think, our race leader. So the qualifying race yesterday, Glenn Coldenhoff, Roman Febvre, Jake Nichols, a Nastan Jam Racing KTM 1, 2, 3 with Anstey 4th, Tixier 5th. But Tixier is our race leader at the moment. Anstey getting a good start, jumping up into 2nd position at the top of the hill, going past his teammate at Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe, Julian Lieber. So the Belgian and the Brit, Lieber and Anstey, well placed at the moment. There's Hurlings already in about 7th position, diving down a hill. What a great start for him. So Tixier, Lieber, Anstey, Koldenhoff, Ratsep, Donink and Boutron. Hurlings was showing 8th, but he's already higher than that because he's ahead of Jose Boutron, our onboard camera. As you can see, down the inside at the bottom of the hill. So the crowd, well, if they were disappointed, then Hurlings trying to go up the inside there for 4th position, 5th position maybe. So here we've got Tixier, 9-11. 14, Max Anstey in 2nd on that yellow Suzuki. 3rd should be Julian Lieber on the 2nd of the Rockstar Suzukis. 4th is Koldenhoff on the Nissan GM Racing KTM, then Ratsep in 5th, and I think Hurlings in 6th place already.
Koldenhoff 4, Ratsep 5.
In fact, it is, so Hurlings already in 6th place. And the reason why Hurlings, many people seem to think yesterday was that he crashed, was because of the fact that he maybe got a bit of a panic on, wasn't closing down the riders ahead of him as quick as he might have wanted to, being the fastest sand rider in the world and all that. But just came into the corner way too fast, through the fence, and that was it. So it didn't go his way, and people have always said in the sand he's his own worst enemy because the confidence is super massive, super high. And he'll have only himself to trip himself up. But over the line for the first time, Jordi Tixier, Red Bull KTM. That's your lead rider in shot, number 9-11. The Suzuki Rockstar Energy MX2 rider. Just behind him is Max Anstey. Then we've got Julian Lieber in 3rd, his teammate. Glenn Koldenhoff, Nissan GM Racing KTM. Oh, Wilvo Nissan GM Racing KTM. Right, Hurlings, maybe we'll see him from the right-hand side. Skim across from Dylan Ferrandis. About now, coming right across the top there, look. 1 or 2 riders not really expected. Look how high up he was there, Hurlings. Red plate just out of shot now, just behind Mel Pocock. Well, Hurlings now in 6th, Jake Nichols 7th, Brent Van Donink is 8th. Atina Get whole shot will go to Jordi Tixier. On board with Boutron. 9th for Boutron, 10 Farias, 11 Pocock, 12 Stefan Olsen, 13 Brian Burgers, 14 Tim Greiser, Rauschnecker is 15th, then Monticelli, Alex Tonkoff, Banks Brown, James Dunn, Graham Irwin on the heads and all threads. Suzuki, the Irishman riding for a British-based team. Evan Havey is 21st, Lupino 22nd. Then we've got Koulas, Mika Boy DeWall, Chris Charlier, Petr Petrov 26th, Lenoir, Roman Febvre down in 28th place. So a lot of work to do for the guy who sits 2nd in the championship at the moment. As we get back to the battle, and Hurlings up the inside of Lieber and looking to go around the out. This is where he crashed yesterday. Back end pitch, straight over the berm, straight in the catchment fencing there. Hurlings goes tight to the inside, gets a bit of a mistake coming out of the turn. Dutch fans will be loving this because Koldenhoff in 4th, Hurlings now in 5th. They'll think there can only be one winner. That guy with the flags needs to keep that flag a little bit higher there, but Hurlings up on the pegs, hops over there nicely alongside, nicely scrubbed as well. He was quick through here yesterday and equally quick today. And cheeky little pull of the tear off as he looks back at Koldenhoff as he storms through into 3rd place. Oh, nice work there from Hurlings, just up onto the bank, pulling the tear-offs again, gets on the gas, and he's going after Max Anstey for 2nd position. Crowd are loving this. Disadvantage? What disadvantage? Are you sure? This is when he's at his best, when his back's against the wall. Jeffrey Hurlings already put, 10 bike lengths between him and Glenn Koldenhoff. Fast through here yesterday as well. Watch the pass, looks back, thumbs up, tear off. Koldenhoff takes a cheeky look at him as well. I'd like to see the GoPro from that as well, from Glenn Koldenhoff, if we've got it. Jose Boutron down in 9th on the Silver Action KTM. He's got Brent Van Donink just ahead of him, and Jake Nichols on the Wilvo Nissan GM Racing KTM. Brent Van Donink, the 172, riding the Scott Racing KTM. Well, Jordi Tixier will know by now that his teammate, Jeffrey Hurlings, is just around the corner, quite literally, because there he is. He was 5 seconds down on Tixier at the start of the lap. 1 official lap completed. But really, Hurlings, if he is to get to the front, will of course, he's the fastest rider in the sand, but you cannot take anything away from Max Anstey. Rockstar Energy Suzuki in 2nd place at the moment, 9-11. Red Bull KTM, Jordi Tixier, the Frenchman. He's leading the way. He's the lead KTM rider. But for how much longer? Lap time, Tixier was fastest man on track last time, a 2:04.1. Hurlings was 2:04.7, so 6/10 slower coming through traffic. Anstey, big lead, jumping to the fourth wave on the downside of that jump. A little bit wide for Tixier as he came over the finish line jump there. Through the chicane, some horrible holes through there. And the guys at Rockstar Suzuki getting ready to put the board out to Max Anstey. Julian Lieber, his teammate, still in 5th position. 4.2 seconds, and look at that, fastest man on track, 2:03.4 for Hurlings, 2:04.8 for Tixier, 2:04.5, so a whole second, 1.3 seconds quicker than the two guys ahead of him. And down the next straight through the waves, he'll have them both in his sights. Just behind Hurlings, Glenn Koldenoff, already 3 seconds back, just being passed a lap ago. A lot of British support here for Max Anstey this weekend. Julian Lieber 5th, Jake Nichols now 6th. He's found a way past Prit Ratsep on the Estonian Express KTM. Brent Van Donnick's got racing his 9th. Jose Boutron is, 9th for Jose Boutron. Ferrandis on the Rockstar Bud Racing Kawasaki is 10th. Pocock's Monster Energy Yamaha is 11th. His teammate Dean Ferris not riding. The collarbone's still not right. Never looked strong yesterday. He had a crash in the first practice as well, Dean Ferris. So he will be losing that 3rd place in the championship. But Roman Fevre, he's still outside the top 20. He was one of the fastest guys on track yesterday. Roman Fevre is now 23rd. Not the kind of start that he wanted when it mattered. There's Hurlings going through. Back in the under the Monster Energy banner. 4th place, Glenn Koldenoff, Will Van der Staan. Standing construct, KTM. KTM rider, Glenn Koldenoff. Then it's Jake Nichols, the Will Van der Staan rider. So Nichols now in 5th place, so we've lost Lieber. Jake Nichols has found a way past Julian Lieber. There he is, number 33, now in 6th place on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe machine. The young Belgian from the south part of the country, close to Luxembourg, so used to riding the harder tracks. 2:02.2 for Jeffrey Hurlings. That gap, 2.7 seconds now. So you'll see him all over the back of Max Anstey. So these guys providing the entertainment, along with Jeffrey Hurlings in his first MX2 race. Tixier probably wasn't expected to lead, but word on the street from KTM saying that Tixier has been fast in the sand in the early part of this year, so maybe they're not surprised. But there is Hurlings, 84, championship leader, unbeaten so far in 2013. Remember, 4 wins out of 4, coming in Qatar and Thailand, the opening 2 races of the season. Has 18 Grand Prix victories to his name, jumping further, landing longer. No braking bumps for him as he rails high and wide, the banking at the bottom of the hill. Going after Max Anstey. These two raced each other around here as mini cycle riders on 85s when they were, 12, 13 years old. A lot of noise out there on track for this guy. A lot of it for the Brit as well, Max Anstey. Koldenoff 4, Nichols 5, Lieber 6, Ratsep 7, Van Donnick 8, Boutron 9, Ferrandis 10, Pocock still 11 on a Monster Energy Yamaha. Different lines here for Hurlings, just getting the power down and trying to use that momentum to slingshot his way around the turn. Oh, a little bit deep, the back end almost came round on him there though, Hurlings. Slight mistake. But he knows he's got 25 minutes, he's got the 2 riders ahead of him. He knows he can probably pick them off at will, but the circuit not deep like Lierop, remember, and it's harder as well, -4 degrees during the night. Look how fast he is through there, up on the pegs, back wheel doing all the work, scrubs his way, stays a lot lower than Max Anstey, maybe takes another half a bike length there, same over the finish line jump as well. Through the final chicane before they get back to the start line area. But it's still Jordi Tixier, 911, Red Bull KTM leading the way. Max Anstey second. Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe MX2, number 14, that yellow machine. Then Jeffrey Hurlings, the championship leader, number 84 in third. Starting from about gate 30, right on the right-hand side. He came round the first turn in about 15th position and was already up to 6 on the end of the first lap. So Hurling's right where he wants to be. Horrible ruts on the face of the second one, or the third one through there, through that wave section yesterday. Just like the step up here, where the guys just get on the gas at the last minute, creating nasty little hooks on one or two lines. Nicely through there for Hurlings. Look how much longer down the hill he's jumping. Look at the speed he carries, the momentum. Gets on the gas earlier as a result of that. Taking a different line to Anstey this time around. Round the outside he goes. Doing anything he can just to whittle that gap down. Sitting down through the inside, down a gear as well. Gets ready to drop it through the inside. Line choice for Hurlings, just completely different in some areas to the guys ahead of him. Probably what makes him so special in the sand. So Tixier, Anstey, Hurlings, they're the guys that are setting the pace at the moment. Hurlings was 2:03 last time around, 2:04 for the guys ahead of him. Nothing in it, as you can see. Probably the most exciting MX2 race we've had so far in 2013. Hurlings tight to the inside, no. Not used to eating too much roost is Hurlings. Not in the sand, but Anstey now has closed right up on the back of Tixier. He's going for the win here, going for the lead. Takes a big leap over the Monster Energy step down. Is he going to go around the outside? He will do. Got to be careful of the hooks on the top of that jump there, but Anstey going for the big leap. His old man, Max Anstey, Merv, is here this weekend. Got over from America about a week or so ago, a couple of weeks ago. He'll be up in pit lane watching Max go after Geordie Tixier. No advantage gain that time around for Hurlings. Pit lane absolutely rammed full down there. The VIP area as well behind the start line. Barely a blade of grass to be seen. A mistake from Anstey. That allows Hurlings back in. And Hurlings up the inside, jumping longer. He's got the shortest route, gets the distance, but Anstey going to rail around the outside. Takes a big foot peg full of dirt. Oh, he's into second place. Hurlings goes through. Face full of dirt for Anstey as well as he got on the gas at the top of the hill. Going after his teammate now is Jeffrey Hurlings. Whoa, a little bit high on the berm there than he needs to be maybe, but switches it to the inside, goes defensive, does Hurlings. It is the quickest route through there, but Tixier riding a great race at the head of the field here. He could do with this after his crash in Thailand where he was riding with stitches in his neck. Geordie Tixier. Anstey not going to give up though. He's going to go after Hurlings and Tixier. He needs to. Max Anstey, 10th in the championship in a moment, 3rd in the first race in Thailand. Already been on the podium once this year. Has the Brit on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki. Good high tempo. Not sure if that's what's needed. Any more than he's already doing. He's got his teammate just ahead of him. Not sure if it's taken him slightly longer to find a way into the lead. 6 laps complete as they come over the Monster Energy finish line any moment now. But the boys at KTM, well, they'll be rubbing their hands here. Both guys back at the head of the field. The only surprise is, oh, look how he just doubles his way into that bank there, Jeffrey Hurlings, instead of riding round the bank and the back end pitching up. Nice to see a slow-mo of that, actually. Anstey just losing a bit of ground on that lap. Just lost the intensity from having Hurlings behind him, pushing him onto the rear end of 911. Geordie Tixier, our race leader, who gets a bit squirrely at the start of the wave section. Hurlings gets ready to rail around the outside. Not as deep as Anstey was at the same part of the track a lap ago. Doesn't close down anymore on his teammate, though. Goes to the inside this time. Oh.
This is going to be fantastic. Hurling.
So 20 minutes to go, plus 2 laps in this 30-minute moto, 35-minute moto. Tixier. How much longer can he hold on for? Jumping a bit longer there, Hurlings. Up on the pegs, hooking those gears as quick as he can, pumping and working the rear end of that bike to keep the rear wheel on the ground, en route to the first and then the second of the double jumps. Again, not as deep, but then gets out of shape coming out of the turn as Hurlings. Losing a little bit of ground to his teammate there, but I'm sure he'll want to respond and bounce right back as soon as he can. But underneath that helmet, Jeffrey Hurlings will be thinking, man, I should be able to pass this guy. I know I'm quicker than this guy. You know, why haven't I passed him already? Why am I on lap 7 and not in the lead in my own race in the sand? And these are the mental mind games that Hurlings might be playing with himself. These guys on equal machinery, it's just down to the personal preference in terms of mapping and everything else, but I'm sure, apart from the front suspension and the rear suspension, these guys will be on identical machinery. Goes to the inside this time, Hurlings, and then jumps his way to the outside, right on the rear wheel. Oh, nervous look. Is that the right thing to do for Tixier? Suddenly he realizes who the guy is behind him. Sat down through there, Hurlings up on the pegs, and look at the difference alongside him. Jumps longer, trying to cut through to the inside. Turns out of there tighter. He's got the left side going through the wave section. Hurlings switching. Oh, almost out of shape. He came unstuck through here when it was about 9 or 10 waves in his first ever Grand Prix victory here back in 2010, did Hurlings, in the qualifying race, and almost came unstuck there as well as the back end as he looked to change direction. Got a horrible kick off the rut there. Had to work hard to fight it and bring it back. Keep himself in the game. So 17.5 minutes to go, and Hurlings is still only, in inverted commas, in second position. Nice line through there, though. Drops a gear at the top of the hill as soon as he lands off that single. That gives him the extra little bit of engine braking. Then he's got the control there and the braking just to hold himself in that line and keep more of a constant throttle without running out of that rut. But the other guys, everyone else, running a little bit wider, and Hurlings able to take 1 or 2 bike lengths out of his teammate and everybody else. But again, a mistake in that corner, but looking for lines all over the place. The track faster than it has been in previous years. Down the inside again, slow but sure. Now he's going to switch to the left side, is he? Using his forearms just to pump over those little braking bumps there. He was doing that just after the finish, after this jump here yesterday, sucking up the front end as he was hitting those braking bumps. Nice line. Oh, I've got to be careful of that hole. Right on the top, lower than his teammate, over the Dragon's back. The crowd are really loving this. Tixier riding out of his skin here to stay ahead of his teammate Jeffrey Hurlings as they knock off the laps here. 8 complete for the 2 Red Bull KTM riders. Jordi Tixier, 911, our race leader, and 84, Jeffrey Hurlings, the championship leader. Riding here is Dutch Grand Prix, his home Grand Prix. Max Anstey, Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe MX2, still there in third, but he's 5 seconds down at the moment. Jake Nichols on the Wilvo Nastan JM Racing KTM, a better performance for him in 4th place, ahead of his teammate Glenn Coldenhoff and Julian Lieber. And again, Hurlings looking to go around the outside. He's got good drive. Is he going to go through? Will he square off at the top of the hill here? Change direction. He thought about it. He tried it, but just went a little bit too deep. He's fast down here. He's got to be careful not to take his teammate out there. But look at the way these guys are riding. Again, switched it to the inside. Look at that. Down a gear there. Jeffrey Hurlings inside. No, he's changed it again. Looking for lines all the time. Round the outside for him this time around. It's going to be too deep to cross through there, but he's trying to be creative. He sat there for about 4 laps behind Tixier, not going anywhere. So it's going to be a mistake from Tixier that might determine the outcome of this race in the next 15 minutes plus 2 laps. A glorious sunny day, but it's an incredible 3 degrees here on Easter Monday in Holland. Look at the crowd out there on the hillside. Never lost a race around here in a Grand Prix, Jeffrey Hurlings, since 2010.
As we hit halfway through the race, just 15 minutes plus 2.
What's going through his mind right now? The only other time I can think of that Jeffrey Hurlings had a race like this in a sand race was 2010 2011 Grand Prix in Belgium at Lommel, when Ken Roxon pushed him ragged all the way through, and had it not been for the crash from Roxon right on the last lap, Hurlings may have not won the race. But of course he came over the line. I'm still the fastest man in the world in the sand, blah blah blah, but he was pushed hard there, looking like he's having to regroup here and take stock of the situation he's in. I mean, it's bad enough that he's even contemplating losing a race in the sand, but to your teammate on the same machinery from France who's not a sand rider, you won't be happy about that. Still plenty of time, though, to do something about Tixier. A mistake from him there as he got pitched into the corner. Hurlings closes back up as a result. Anstey still third, Nichols still fourth. They're about a second apart. In fact, less than that, about 0.3 of a second apart. So Nichols knocking on the door for Max Anstey, and that battle for third place in the race. Fifth is Koldenhoff. Julian Lieber is sixth. Brit Ratset, Estonian Express KTM, is seventh place. Good ride for him. Spoke to him a couple of days ago. He said he was feeling good. He's had a good winter training. He's happy with the team. And yeah, seventh place. Okay, he's better in the sand, but great way to get his MX2 campaign off to a start here in 2013. Boutron, Silver Action KTM, is still in 8th place. Van Donink is 9th on the Scott KTM. Then we've got Mel Pocock now up into 10th place. Oh, mistake there from Jordi Tixier. Got on the gas, the back end just came around on him. Hurlings now sensing his opportunity. He's almost alongside his teammate at the end of the back straight, furthest point away from the start line area. Well, for all of those who thought it was a done deal that Hurlings would just automatically pick up 2 race victories here in Holland, he might still do that, of course, but he's making, well, Tixier's teammate is making him work very, very hard for it, that's for sure. Stefan Everts, what's going through his mind? So a little bit of work to do as they come over the line then for the 10th time. 10 laps complete. On board with Jose Boutron as he tries to find his way around the circuit here. He is over on the old start line area, the Monster Energy step down that used to be the finish line jump. These guys are about a half a lap ahead of him, probably. That's Boutron in the background, just over this jump there, so that gives you an indication. But Tixier, look at Hurlings, trying to use everything there. That's an awkward part of the track there because they go, oh, the back end all over the place. And Hurlings now is going to square off. He's going to railroad his teammate to the outside. Side by side, the 2 guys here on the Red Bull KTMs. And Hurlings jumps into the lead. The crowd erupt here. Finally, Hurlings on lap 10 finds a way through to the lead and lead his home Grand Prix here in Valkenswaard. Don't think he'll be breathing a sigh of relief, though, because the tenacious rider that's been giving him the fight, Jordi Tixier, is still there. And already losing the drop in that, is already dropping off the pace, actually, is Tixier. So Hurlings now clear track to pick up 25 points. We're going down a pit lane to talk to Stefan Everts.
Joining me down in the pit lane, Stefan Everts. We've just seen Jeffrey Hurlings finally make that pass, but he must have been feeling the pressure.
Well, after yesterday he was disqualified and he had a really bad pick at the start gate. He managed to do a safe first lap and didn't get in troubles, and he waited his time and finally he went into the lead. Also I have to say Jordi made a great race. We made some small adjustments on the bike. We changed something on the clutch, and that made a really good start for Jordi. He took the whole shot and both riders are in a good shape and riding really well. I'm very happy.
Thanks, Stefan.
Over the line then, Tixier just going through. But here's Boutron. Still in 8th place on the Silver Action KTM. What's the gap between Anstey and Nichols? Well, Tixier and Hurlings 1.7 seconds apart. Anstey 7 seconds behind them. Jake Nichols has lost a little bit of ground in 4th place. He now goes through. Wow, he's lost a massive amount of time as Jake Nichols still in 4th, but he's lost, what, 11 seconds? Can't be right. So Anstey, Nichols, they're 3rd and 4th. Koldenhoff 5th, Luber 6th. Ratsep 7, Boutron 8, Van Donnick 9, and Pocock, Monster Energy Yamaha, he's in 10th position. Haven't seen too much of him, the 2012 European 250 champion from last year, but there's Boutron on the Silver Action KTM, number 17, in 8th place. He's got Prit Ratsep just ahead of him, so Ratsep 2:21 in the blue on a private team this year. Big braking bumps down there, heavy landing for Ratsep as he came over the first camelback. See how hazy it is and dark through the trees and the changing in light. That's what makes it difficult for riders over that part of the circuit. But Hurlings, that lap that he passed Tixier, 2:05.0 compared to the 2:07.7 from Tixier, so 1.7 seconds quicker. But Boutron, not normally a sand rider, or not normally known for his sand prowess, didn't have a good time here last year. 2 DNFs when in decent positions, top 10s, that kind of thing, but picking up points here at the moment. Boutron in 8th. That'll be good for 13 points. Good way to get his European phase. Oh, who's gone down in the background? Couldn't quite see there, but Boutron, currently 6th in the championship at the moment. Got on the podium in Thailand, if you remember, with a 3rd overall, 4th and a 5th there. Trying to find his way past Prit Ratsep, though. 2:21 in the blue on the left. On the Estonian Express KTM. Oh. Someone big panic rev in the background of the other side of pit lane over one of the finish line jump areas as the boards were getting ready to be handed out. But Boutron trying to jump it long over the Dragon's back just to whittle down the gap between him and the rider ahead of him, Prit Ratsep. Hurlings now 4.4 seconds clear of Jordi Tixier. Anstey still 3rd. He's 10 seconds clear of Nichols in 4th. Koldenoff is 5th on the standing construct. KTM, 6th is Julian Lieber on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe MX2 machine. 7th is Ratsep, just there ahead of our onboard GoPro rider, Jose Boutron. Oh, mistake from Ratsep. And Boutron looking to find a way through in the wave section. Not going to go through there, though. Switches his line up, tries to get more momentum through that middle line. Oh, panic rev there. It was a little bit short, was Boutron. Throwing everything at Prit Ratsep at the moment. Trying to charge it down the inside. Camera angle doesn't do us any favours down there, does it? Pocock now in 9th place. Ferrandis is 10th. Brent Van Donnick is 11th. Stefan Olsen on the JTEC Honda Motorsport is 12th. Ahead of his Esther Motorsports. Oh, down the inside of Ratsep and parks him. Does Jose Boutron. And Dylan Ferrandis. Well, Ferrandis is there. Where's Pocock? Because Pocock had found a way past Ferrandis a moment ago. There he is, just in the background. So Ferrandis has found a way back past Mel Pocock. The 119 on the Monster Energy Yamaha. Also the 122, Dylan Ferrandis on the Rockstar Bud Racing Kawasaki in the yellow. Now going after Prit Ratsep, who got upended just a moment ago by Jose Boutron through the right-hander at the bottom of the downhill swoop. No Valentin Tellier this weekend. Big crash in the French Championship last week. No broken bones, but seriously just battered and bruised. Big crash on a jump for the young French star, the former European champ, but his teammate, Dylan Ferrandis, looking at 8th place at the moment. There's Pocock, 119. He's closing in on these guys. Going after Dylan Ferrandis. No Dean Ferris either. We heard from him at the beginning of the race. His collarbone injury just not good enough, not had enough time. But he also had complications with a lung injury as well, slightly punctured his lung, so not the ideal way to come to this brutal circuit that is Valkenswaard. High speed, Big braking bumps, horrible acceleration bumps coming out of the corners as well. Deep, long ruts, you really need your upper body strength because the bike working probably more than it would anywhere else here. A lot of movement. Here you see Boutron, he knew exactly where he was going. In fact, Britt Ratzep tried to turn out of there a little bit earlier. Didn't realise that Boutron was going to be there. Charlier off the side of the bike. Well saved, that man, Charlier. 16th now for him. Evan Havey just behind him in 17th. 112 on the second of the KTM Scott Racing machines. But Ferrandis still hasn't found a way past the 221 of Britt Ratzep. So with 3:45 on the clock, Hurling's 5 seconds clear, 5.7 seconds clear of his teammate, Jordi Tixier. Max Anstey still third, Nichols fourth, Glenn Coldenhoff is fifth, Julian Lieber sixth, Boutron seventh, Ratzep is eighth, and that's him here in the blue on the Estonian Express KTM. Ninth in the yellow, Dylan Ferrandis, then 10th, the Monster Energy Yamaha, Mel Pocock, 119. Just behind him, Brent Van Donnick, the 172 on the KTM Scott Racing. So all those guys are pretty well placed at the moment. Under the watchful eye of Hubert Nagel, Max's old man. And Stefan Olsen, J-Tech Honda, is 12th. Tonkov, his teammate, 13th. But under the Ester Motorsport banner with that J-Tech Honda squad. Petr Petrov on the Kimi Raytech Vanderlei Yamaha finds himself in 14th place ahead of Pascal Rauschnecker, number 76 on the standing construct KTM. Christophe Charlier, we saw him have that moment just a few moments ago. He's in 16th place. Evan Havey, 17th. Tim Geiser getting ready for European 250 action is 18th. Brian Bogers is 19th. The number 189
This is going to be a tough last
on the Stabilo KTM. And then Elliot Banks-Brown, HM Plant KTM UK, finally breaks into the points in 20th place. Here's Jake Nichols, 45. I'm surprised at the 461, Romain Fevre. Fevre was knocking on the door, but he's 22nd. Elliot Banks-Brown showing 23rd now on the timing screen. Harry Koulas is in 20th position. So not a good day for Romain Fevre, despite the blistering pace he set, trying to find a way past our eventual qualifying winner, 259 there on the right at the back of that shot. Glenn Coldenhoff looking to find his way past the back marker, 7:11. That's James Cottrell on the Route 77 Energy Honda. The young British lad from Ipswich in the east of England. But Coldenhoff is in 5th place at the moment. Here's Jake Nichols, so back marker between Jake Nichols and Coldenhoff, so Cottrell needs to move out of the way there. And not doing so, but there we go, he'll get a blue flag now on the top of the jump. Realise Coldenhoff's coming through. So Jake Nichols, after what's been a pretty difficult start for the rider who finished 4th in the World Championship last year. Jake Nichols down in 13th in the series after the first 2 rounds. 18th and a 4th, 19th and an 18th, and 10th and 18th overall in the 2 Grand Prix so far. He'll be looking to get things started. Oh, nice line there from Coldenhoff. Jake Nichols will be looking to get things well and truly back on track. Coldenhoff at the top of the hill. Had a good start to the series this year on the standing construct KTM, 5th in the series at the moment. Just 2 points behind Christophe Charlier, so he'll move up into 4th and take a few points back as well, because Charlier only down in 16th place. That's only going to be good enough for 5 points for Charlier. Coldenhoff is going to be taking 16 points. There's Anstey. Got Jordan Lecon just ahead of him, back marker number 400, stepping in for Arnold Tonus. Swiss rider still not recovered from a leg injury. Still not sure actually what the problem is. Nothing broken apparently, but every time he gets on a bike, seems to just have a little bit of a problem. Graham Irwin, 555, moving out of the way there on the heads and all threads. Suzuki, man from Ireland. So he's in his own little battle with Jordan Lecomte. And those guys, where are they in the race actually? 29th and 30th. But 2 laps to go. Hurling's already through. Tixier through, about 8 seconds down. Anstey about to cross the line now. Goes through in 3rd place. Ratsep and Ferrandis still going at it. Pocock just nudging aside a back marker there. 4.95, Matthias Plessis, Latvia Elchny Honda. He's got Kevin Fors, I think. Oh no, Peter Petrov breathing all down his neck. So a bit of a late surge from Petrov. He's found a way past Brent Van Donnick on that lap, the 172 and 152. Petrov on the Kimi Ratek Van der Laar Yamaha. Absolutely hauling with a couple of laps to go here. Going after Mel Pocock. So Petrov looking to get some good points under his bag. 11th in the championship as we speak at the moment. Just 1 point behind Max Anstey. Anstey ahead of him, of course, in this race, in 3rd place, so that won't change. But look how much time he's made up on Mel Pocock just in the space of a handful of corners, and maybe over the lap in general, because Pocock then was a 2:12, Petrov was a 2:09. And he's looking to find a way past the European champ from last year. Here's the 152, Petrov. Oh, deep. Looking for the cut back there, but didn't quite get it. Gets nice drive over the wave zone. Oh, right across Pocock. He knew exactly where he was going to go, but he's riding a gear higher, a little bit smoother through there, and Petrov is up into 10th place now. So Mel Pocock just being demoted. Hurlings goes through to start his final lap. There's Julian Lieber still having a great ride in 6th on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki.
Last lap for Hurlings.
128 behind him as a back marker. That's Monticelli on the TEM Ritchie racing machine. Lieber just taking a look over his shoulder. Got about 6 seconds in hand over Jose Boutron, the next man on the list in 7th. Frit Ratsep is still 8th. Ferrandis and him still banging bars and trading places. He's in 9th. And then Pocock 10th. Petrov is now 10th. Pocock 11th. But there's Hurlings. Final lap for him. Being urged on by the local crowd here. Doesn't want to disappoint them.
This could go down to the
and he's looking good for a 100% win record at the moment. 5 wins from 5 in 2013. That was one of his targets at the start of the year. Could be possible if everything goes to plan, but occasionally you do get the invariables. But as Stefan Everett said, you know, he was safe through the first turn. Didn't make any silly mistakes, bided his time, and eventually, after 10 laps, found a way past his teammate. That was just 7 laps ago. And he's already opened up a massive advantage over his teammate. That's the corner where he crashed yesterday. Safely through there now, though. Carey just uses braking bumps to double and triple his way over other little braking bumps. Really uses his body well. Back marker just ahead of him, that's Maxime Dupre. Monster Energy Yamaha, teammate to Mel Pocock. Final turn though for Jeffrey Hurlings. He makes his way to the Monster Energy finish line jump and wins here, race number 1 on home soil. Jeffrey Hurlings then, unbeaten, 5 wins out of 5. He'll make his way down to the winner's circle. It'll be interesting to see or hear what he has to say when he gets down to the podium area.
And Max Anstey will just bring it home. 3rd place for Anstey. And it looks as though
So Tixier does come home in 2nd, Anstey 3rd, and Nichols did close right down in 4th place in the end. So 84 Hurlings 9-11 Tixier third. Was Anstey fourth, Nichols fifth, Coldenhoff. Good ride there from...
Congratulations, Geordie. You are the Get a 10.5 Shot Award. Here's your check.
No time to get his helmet off. We didn't even know what it is yet. So, Gerardo Ratzenbeck, CEO of Athena. No time for an interview down there just yet, but of course we will catch up with first, second and third after we get official confirmation. But Hurlings, Tixier, Anstey, Nichols, they were your top four. Coldenhoff home in fifth. Lieber, good points for him in sixth on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki. So going back to that, Lieber was sixth, Boutron was seventh. Good ride for the Spaniard. Petrov, at the moment, classified as eighth. Prit Ratsep, good ride for him in ninth. And managing to hold off Dylan Ferrandis in the final few laps for 10th place. Pocock losing out. Dropped to 11th. Then it was Tonkov in 12th place, then Olsen 13th on the JTEC Honda. 14th was Rauschenecker. And we had Brent Van Donnick. These are just all unofficial at the moment. Christophe Charlier, another rider, fourth in the championship, would have looked to have picked up more points there. He would have overtaken Dean Ferris, though. Not by much. He was 4 points behind the Australian, only picking up 5 points himself in that. So just moves into third place in the championship, Christophe Charlier, one of the few riders to beat Jeffrey Hurlings, of course, when he was European champion back in 2009 in the MX2 category. So Jeffrey Hurlings then, the winner in moto number one. 11 seconds clear of his teammate Geordie Tixier. Max Anstey was third, about 10 seconds further back. Then it was Jake Nichols just on the rear wheel of Anstey in fourth. Then it was Glenn Coldenhoff, Julian Lieber, Jose Boutron, Petr Petrov, Prit Ratsep, Dylan Ferrandis. They were your top 10. Mel Pocock was 11th. Alex Tonkov, Stefan Olsen, Pascal Rauschenecker, Brent Van Donnick and Christophe Charlier 16th. 17th for Evan Habe, 18th Tim Geiser, Brian Bogus was 19th, and Harry Kulas 20th. But I guess the big news from that race, Roman Febvre down in 22nd place. And no Elliot Banks-Brown in the points as well, 36. So the last couple of 3 laps for him on the HM Plank KTM UK machine, not working out how he would have liked. Well, the sun is out, but it's still not very warm out there at all. Everyone well wrapped up. Some people saying it was warmer at Christmas time. I know from my own personal experience for the FIM Snowcross World Championship in Finland in February, mid-February, it was only -1 there and it felt warmer than it is today. So bitter, brisk wind flying through the paddock here, making it feel a lot colder than it actually is. But here's our race 1 winner, Jeffrey Hurlings, talking to Amy.
Jeffrey, we know you're confident in the sand, but you had a bit of a job to do there. Was there a moment where you weren't sure if you'd come all the way through?
Well, you know, it's 40th gate pick because of disqualification yesterday, but came out about 10th place for the start and worked my way up to the front. So I took some time with Geordie, you know, he was a little all over the track, but he'd been training hard, so I was glad he was doing really well, and obviously passed him with about 10 or 15 minutes to go. And from that on, didn't want to waste too much energy, you know, because I might have a difficult second motor because of that gate pick. And but I'm super pumped, you know, I won, and that's what it's all about. Maybe not with a minute or didn't lap everyone, but you know, I won, and that's what it's all about. So hope to win against second moto and be on top of the podium.
We'll see you for second race.
Slightly more down to earth, Jeffrey Hurlings there. Didn't win it by a minute or didn't lap everybody, which is obviously what he came close to doing in Lierop 12 months ago, but 25 points. Doesn't matter how you get them, as long as you get them. I'm sure Stefan Everts would have drilled that into him last night, maybe this morning, maybe one or two other members of the team as well, but made it difficult for himself, but wasn't really through any fault of his own, but rules are rules, unfortunately. Outside assistance, you get penalised for it. So, yeah, he was able to keep it up on two wheels through the start this time, but it could be a different story in race two. Here's our second place finisher, Jordi Tixier.
Jordi Tixier making your mark on that race. Stefan said to me in the pit lane you'd made some changes with the bike. Has that really helped this today?
Yeah, for sure, it's helped me much because yesterday I rode good, but I had some problem with the bike, and we changed something today, and I make the all shot. I felt really good on the bike, and I stayed a long time first, but yeah, Jeffrey, the king of sun, so he passed me, and I tried to stay in his wheel, and I have a gap of Max, so I stayed calm the last 10 minutes, and it was pretty good for me. So I'm pretty happy because the first GP was not so good for me, and I'm again on the podium in second position. So thank you so much, all the team, factory, KTM Red Bull team, and my parents, my girlfriend, everybody in the team, and thank you so much.
Well done.
Yeah, good ride, and for 10 laps he led the way, and it left Jeffrey Hurlings just scratching his head a little bit. See him trying a few lines as well. He left it there for 3 or 4 laps, and then he thought, okay, got to try plan B, and then plan B didn't work, went plan C, and then came back to plan A, and then eventually found a way through, got a good drive, and yeah. But second for Jordi Tixier, a great ride in the sand, and he'll be looking to do the same again in Moto number 2. Max Anstey, the Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe MX2 guy, the young Brit. He was third in the first race, and that's his third race finish in 2 weekends.
Max, another top 3 finish for the first race here today, looking to follow it up today in the second.
Yeah, you know, it was nice to come around the first turn in the top 3. That was a first. So, you know, we worked really hard. The whole team worked really hard with the starts, and you know, it's coming together. And I think we got to make a couple of small adjustments. We're running a prototype Moose, I think, in that one. So it felt like I was sliding around a little bit at the end. But you know, we know what we've got to do for the next race to go out and bring it together, and hopefully go out there and race Jordi for the second spot on the podium. But we'll go and see. It seems like Jeffrey, no matter where he starts when he gets out of the gate and ends up there, but it's so bloody cold. It's still frozen underneath at the moment. It's really weird. We're training for the sand, but yeah, it's a bit slippery. So gonna have some fun in the next one and go out and put on a good show.
Best of luck for second race.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Yeah, good ride and consistent, and came close to being overtaken there, probably by Jake Nichols. Might have backed it off just a little bit on the final lap, but Max Anstey, number 14, Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe MX2. Good start, made a good start as well. He said, made a change to be inside the top 3, and he was pushing Tixier for a while. He got Hurlings breathing down his neck for about 7 or 8 laps as well, but once Hurlings went through, he was able to, you know, consolidate that third place finish. And like we hear so much now, that is more important than trying to risk all and losing a bunch of points. But Max Anstey, as he said himself, on the, you know, we'll be challenging Jordi Tixier for that second step of the podium, because no matter where Jeffrey Hurling starts, he seems to get a good start from. So, yeah, we'll look forward to that second moto. And a little bit later on, of course, well, as the work gets ready down on the track, we will be greeting the MX1 riders. There's a great shot, actually, of the waiting zone now. Normally it's round the back, but the skybox, 2 riders per box. To the right as we look at it, Tony Cairoli, Kenda Dyker, that's how they qualified in the race yesterday, and then obviously 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. They still get to choose their position, but they're sheltered. It looks great. The podium's above them, and yeah, we'll be seeing that more at every round of the European rounds of the World Championship for the rest of this season. And it looks great as well, doesn't it? Just a great spectacle in the background. Well, that's it for MX2. Join us in about 10 seconds for MX1.